And as the early morning mist lifted, so we saw them in quite large numbers, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that a lot of them are going to be making their way home to get some dry clothes on and prepare themselves for the next 3 days of solid action here from the World Championships.
It's a great shot there of the Danish quad sitting there on the start with those very high-tech aerodynamic riggers, flat profile. All 6 crews away cleanly. Mountainous effort from these 6 over these first 20 or so strokes. Very keen to get on with this. And the Dutch, if they're going to do it, will not want to have to do it from behind. Will not want to have to come through and fight it out over the last 1,000. They want to conserve what energy they can.
That was a tremendously powerful start we saw from the 3 crews on the near side. Russia and Denmark went out in almost instantaneously. They took Poland with them. And as you say, right now the Netherlands left trailing. But having said that, we're now 500 meters out from that start. And we see that the class beginning to show in the Dutch crew, because they've come back into qualifying contention. They're well up there now.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if we didn't see a very even pace performance from them. They want to get themselves into this second qualifying position, preferably first, of course. Given that second qualifying position, just allow them that little bit of leeway. They really won't want to have to turn up the gas over that last 500 meters if they can possibly avoid it. Very, very strong looking Russian crew in first position at the moment. The Dutch in second, and what looks like the Danish in third.
And at the halfway stage, after that relatively poor start, it's the Dutch who cross the interval marker first, squeezing out by about 3 feet up on the Russians, the early leaders. Denmark in the third qualifying place for the grand final.
Well, Denmark still pushing hard. They're at 36, 37 strokes to the minute. The Dutch, as I suspected, trying to do it in one piece, that is to say, without any major pushes. When you're competing at this sort of level, it's tough enough as it is. When you have to pile on the pressure on top of that, it starts to be very expensive, start to build up a lot of lactic acid in the legs. That wonderful stuff you get when you take some exercise, and then it burns for the next couple of days.
Russians there with one sole survivor, Irina Fedotova, the woman at bow, sole survivor from last year's 5th place crew, but surviving unchanged from Lucerne 6 weeks ago, where they secured 4th place in the grand final, just behind Denmark, who were 3rd. And so if these positions stay the same, then that at least, those slots at least will have been reversed. But a remarkably effortless-looking performance from the Dutch girls out in the lead now.
It's a really classical performance, this. 3rd or 4th off the blocks, coming through to first at 1,000, steadily pushing through and giving themselves that little bit of comfort factor through the next 500. Gives them a great deal of control. They can dictate what pace they need to come in at over this last 30 or 40 strokes. Be interesting to see if the Danish crew that are currently lying 3rd are going to be put under very much pressure by the Ukrainians and the New Zealanders in lanes 1 and 2. At the moment, very little seems to be able to shake these Dutch girls. .250 meters to go, and it looks pretty comfortable in those first 3 qualifying positions, in the sense that Denmark has a good 3/4 of a length to a length of clear water, and the crew behind them will push them for that last qualifying position. So they're settling down now for this last 20 strokes or so. Another fine performance from this Dutch quad, as Robert said, with 2 girls who competed earlier on in the double sculls. Very, very good performance. Very well drilled, very well together, very well knitted. Absolutely no wastage of effort. Very little pickup of water. Backsplash at the catch there. Nothing left to waste. Russia decided to have a little bit of a go of it. The reasons best known to themselves. And that's how they crossed the line. Holland first, Russia second, and Denmark third. Ukraine fourth, Poland fifth, and New Zealand sixth.
Well, I have to take back all I said, of course, about the Dutch being left behind at the start, because the pedigree and experience from these Dutch competitors really began to show through very early on, before the first 500 meters was over, and stamped their authority on that particular race, and really won it as they liked. So the 6 crew lineup for that final will be Canada, Germany, the United States, Holland, Russia, and Denmark. Confirmation then of that race, the second semi-final of the women's quad sculls.